This evening, we're watching conditions all along the coast and here in Houston as we track Tropical Storm Beryl's arrival. We're keeping you informed around the clock so you can make sure you are prepared before nightfall. And we're back with Chief Meteorologist David Paul and meteorologist Pat Kaplan.
So, Dave, where is Beryl right now?
About 160 miles south of us. Going to come in here late tonight in the wee hours of the morning. The water off the beaches into the Gulf of Mexico under a hurricane warning. Galveston Island proper, you're under hurricane watch. We're watching. It's going to be a close call whether you're going to get tropical storm conditions here or hurricane forecast or hurricane conditions here in Galveston proper. As far as the coastal impacts, they really begin around midnight through 7 a.m. That's when the worst of the coastal impacts will occur. Surge in wind, a rise in sea level, and of course those tropical storm and hurricane force winds. You want to get to high ground, away from the immediate coastline, move inland so that you're high enough above the surge forecast, which has come up a little bit. This is the latest update. For the Galveston area, Galveston Island, Bolivar Peninsula, the bay, especially the west side of the bay, could see seas rise 4 to 6 feet. With waves on top of that. Further down the coast, Brazosport down to Matagorda Bay, 4 to 7 foot surge. That's the rise in sea level is possible with waves on top of that. Inland areas between 2 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's how long it takes the storm to move through. Wind and flood, heavy rain and winds that could gust to hurricane force for many of our inland areas. Stay home. That's what we're being urged to do and should do. Just hunker down and hide from the wind. That's where the storm is right now. It's a tropical storm, winds of 65. The strongest winds are here, and I'll show you that in a second. But you can see this is the second rain band that's come through this afternoon. And it's a doozy. Those are heavy tropical downpours causing ponding on roadways now across the Houston-Harris County area. Forecast from the Hurricane Center, once again, 4 a.m. update, winds of 65, storm moving north-northwest at 12. Cat 1, strong one by 1 a.m., just before landfall near Matagorda County as an 85-mile-an-hour Cat 1 hurricane. So it's going to make landfall around 2 a.m., then come across our western counties, weaken to a tropical storm, but not until it's in our northern counties. And even then, it's still a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Let's take a look at the wind forecast radii. So we go into Monday, 12:30. This is a little past midnight. Stronger tropical storm force winds here in orange reaching the coast of Matagorda and Brazoria County. And we go into 6:30 in the morning. Those are hurricane force winds that could reach all the way into Fort Bend County, Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg of 74 miles an hour or a little bit above. Then we go into the afternoon and the tropical storm force winds come through that begin to weaken. But Pat Kaplan, it's this inland wind forecast and threat that has been growing and growing as the forecast track has been targeting a little bit closer to the Houston area.
So the numbers that you're showing us on the forecast cone, the 85-mile-per-hour winds at landfall and then 60-mile-per-hour winds with the tropical storm once it's north of Houston, those are sustained winds. So what I'm going to show you are the potential wind gusts that we could see. So this is basically worst case scenario, the strongest winds that we could possibly see from this storm as this model sees it. And yeah, 90-mile-per-hour gusts will not be out of the question, especially along the coastal spots. So coastal Matagorda and Brazoria really going to take it on the nose here as this storm makes landfall late tonight. As we get to tomorrow morning, let's say mid-morning, 9, 10, 11 a.m., the worst of the storm. Look at that, the eye of the storm passing over western Harris County. On the east side of the storm, the dirty side of the storm, we're talking about 70, 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible through the city of Houston. We could see 70-mile-per-hour gusts through Brenham and Tomball, 65-mile-per-hour gusts in Conroe. These winds will continue to lift away from the area. Also had a 83-mile-per-hour potential in Sugar Land. And then by tomorrow afternoon, everything should start to die down. For coastal areas, that strong wind field really stays close to the center of the storm, so it's Conroe, Huntsville, and then eventually going to the north as we get into the evening hours, and everything should start to improve. So that's the wind field. Let's talk about the rain aspect of this, because like David's been saying, flooding is a major concern. Torrential rain coming into the coastal spots 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Landfall a few hours later at 2 a.m. Tremendous amounts of rain here. It's a small storm. It's a fairly weak storm, but it's going to pack a punch. We're talking about tremendous amounts of rain for Brazoria, Fort Bend, Harris County. It does not take a lot for us to flood here. We could see some flooding into tomorrow morning. This is not a day that you want to be outside. You want to stay hunkered in with your family. There's the eye of the storm potentially going right over Sugar Land. That means some clearing in the sky above you as the storm passes over tomorrow morning. Heavy rain now through Montgomery County, getting up towards Huntsville and Livingston, so flooding a big concern for a large part of the area as we go through tomorrow. So this is what we're expecting with Beryl as it moves through the area. Hurricane force winds, coastal and rain flooding, and also that enhanced tornado threat that's happening tonight getting into tomorrow. But rain totals here, 6 to 12 inches and a large swath of it, especially from the city and points towards the west. We could see some pockets, though, upwards of 15 inches of rain, not out of the question. There's your 7-day forecast. So we do see some improvements here as we get into the end of the week. Weather impact alert days, though, for tomorrow. And then eventually Beryl starts to exit the area and we get back to more of a normal summer forecast with hot temperatures in the mid-90s. Not good if we lose power, guys. We're going to be on top of this storm, of course, all night long.